Hi guys, welcome to the very first video for gardening for the 2023 gardening season. I'm really excited to share this with you guys because I feel like it's the first time in a few years that I've really had the opportunity to kind of push myself and give gardening a little bit more of my attention because I'm not pregnant and I don't have babies and it's not as much of a lockdown, and there's just, I don't know, a lot of factors that I don't feel are stopping me this year. So I'm really excited. I'm trying some new things. I am so inspired by some of the homesteaders I'm seeing on YouTube, and so I just want to start trying to grow my own food more. I want to get back into canning. I've done a little canning in the past, but not to any great extent, and there's so much I could learn. So I just want to learn more about preserving and canning and growing my own food and trying to cut down my grocery bill and have fresh produce that's either homegrown or locally sourced all year long. I just think it'll be kind of a cool challenge. So this is a long video, but I kind of go through everything for you guys. I want to share what I do through the first couple months of the year to prepare for the garden, and I want to show you my garden plan and show you kind of how I'm planting things, and I've already had to troubleshoot something, and I just want to share all that with you because maybe you're totally new to this and it will help you, or maybe you're not. Maybe you'll be able to help me. I guess that's the kind of the cool thing about sharing things online, is you can always all learn from each other. So I really hope you enjoy this video. It's not my typical cleaning video, but I do want to branch out and share other aspects of my life as well. And hopefully, some of this resonates with you guys. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, do whatever it is you're comfortable with. And yeah, like I said, I hope this inspires. I hope you enjoy. And I'm so excited. I have to say, doing this gardening stuff and getting my hands like into the soil and smelling the soil has me so excited for warm weather and sunshine and being outside. So that was a really good feeling. Anyways, hope you're having a great day and enjoy the video. I'm so excited because I just got what I'm going to use to put my seeds in from Amazon. Oliver's helping me open. So it's just this container. It's actually for photos. I got this idea from Acre Homestead.
Wait, I'll open it.
Okay, you're going to open it for me. He's been counting them all for me. So each one, it holds 4x6 photos, which is most seed packets will fit in here. I do have a couple big ones, but and then I can organize them. And it will be so much better than what I'm using right now. And the thing that really kind of sold me on this, that she pointed out, was these are all, they snap closed, so they're going to be pretty weather resistant. So I can bring them outside. I can have them in the greenhouse. If I forget them outside and it's raining, they're going to be protected. So I think this is going to make, I'm really just trying to find ways to make the gardening as easy as possible and as user-friendly as possible, because that's what I need to get it done and stick with it. So I'm pretty excited about this. All of our seeds. Oh my goodness, we have so many to go through. Let's see what we have here. I think this is going to get messier before it gets cleaner. So we have tomato, flower, leek, onion, tomato, sorrel. Put that on its own. Oh. right, so this is my final product. I'm so happy with this. So I put it all in alphabetical order. I had a bunch of seeds so I made a miscellaneous one of stuff that we have a bunch of that's just like one-off stuff that I'm probably not going to grow this year. Maybe I'll grow parsnips, but probably not. So I'm just keeping that in a miscellaneous container until we figure out what we're going to do with it, if we're going to get rid of them, if we're going to throw them or plant them another year. And so, you want to see your video?
Hi. Baby.
Oliver's loving it. So basically, this is done, and you just close this up, and then you can bring this with you out into the garden. Oh yeah, he says these are his babies. So you can just bring this out into the garden. And then I just have some seeds that Andrew's collected over the years, so I'm going to talk to him about those and see what he wants to keep and what he wants to get rid of.
I have your baby boss.
Oh, you're going to give me my baby back outside?
Yes.
Okay, those are your babies?
But how keep you and you tell me, okay?
Okay, all right, very good. So yeah, a huge project, and it's all organized and ready for planting. Gone ahead and cleaned off my table that I'm going to use for starting my seeds. And in the past couple of years, I've really I did do soil blocks one year. It's a lot of work if you're not using potting mix. So anyways, I want to try and do things a bit more properly, a bit more by the book this year. Today I just went to Walmart and got some premium seed starting Jiffy Mix. And then I got this Pro Mix. It says it's trusted by pros, so I don't know. I guess that means I should trust it. And it's an organic mix. I mean, I'm not specifically trying to grow things organically, so I didn't pay attention to whether or not this is organic. It doesn't say it's organic, so I'm going to assume it's not. And then I still have some seed starting potting mix left over from last year. So I'm going to try sort of a mix of all these three and see which one I like best, because I'm going to need more than one bag as the season goes. So I'll try them all and see which one. Just trying to think how I can keep track. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. And then also, I grabbed bamboo cups from Walmart. So I'm actually going to start all my seeds in cups this year. In previous years, I've used like these kinds of trays, and I have some other trays that are sturdier. You can see this is pretty flimsy. I have sturdier ones too. And I would put my soil blocks in here, or you can get these trays that come with those little soil pucks. But those were 20 bucks at Walmart, and the whole point of this garden this year is to try and save us money on groceries and have like fresh produce all year long and get practiced at canning and preserving. So I didn't want to go and spend a ton of money up front, because that kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to experiment on. So these were $5, and I think there's 500 in here or 200, I forget. 100. So we'll see how these work. My thought as well is I don't want to put these directly in the ground. So in the past, Andrew and I have bought those like compostable containers that are supposed to break down. You can plant them right in the earth, but we've always found they don't break down very well, and so then the roots get trapped and they're not able to spread out as well, and then you just don't get great growth from your plants. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my seeds started in these cups, and when it comes time to actually transplanting them into the gardens, I'm going to pull them out of these cups so that I can reuse these as the summer goes on, and then potentially next year if I really like them. I also have 3 seed mats, and I will use these as I need to when I start to grow things that need the warmth, like tomatoes, and and stuff like that. But for today, because it is just the beginning of February, the only thing that I'm going to plant today is these Spanish onions and these red onions. And then probably in another week or two, I'll get my leeks started. And then that's going to be it for February. Everything else will be March and April for starting indoors. So it's kind of nice that I can start slowly because I can try out this cup method and I can try out these potting mixes and see what's good. But what I haven't really done in the past is I haven't totally read all the instructions that come on the backs of these packages. So I feel like I need to really read these and make sure that I'm following instructions as closely as possible so that my produce all has the best opportunity to grow. The very first year Andrew and I gardened, we had such an amazing garden, but it was like completely, the soil we used was so fertile and rich just naturally, and we've never had a garden like that since, and that was in a different house. So I would love to actually get a lot of bang for my buck if I'm going to put in all this effort. But it's like a double-edged sword because I want to put in the effort and try and do this right, but I also don't want to put any pressure on myself, and I just want to have fun doing this. And even with the plan that I put online, I don't want to follow it to a T and stress out if not everything works out. Sorry, my furnace just kicked on. So I just want this to be productive, and I want to give it a great shot and a fair shot, but I also don't want any pressure or expectations, even though I can already feel myself expecting this bountiful harvest. So we'll see. But anyways, we're going to start by pulling out some cups and getting some onions planted, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is do 6 for each, and I'm going to do like 6 seeds in each, if I even have that many. And then I guess as they start to grow, depending on what kind of growth I get, I can always thin them. I'm also going to start with my Miracle-Gro seed mix from last year just because it's open and I want to use it up before I open up my other bags. I'm going to do my red onions first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. be our driveway. This is our walkway here. So we have our garden that comes around here, comes down to this tree, and then our big garden here, which is mostly wildflowers from the previous owner, and we've made it wrap around that tree there. So we used to have, actually I have to get rid of these. So we used to have all hedges here and a hedge here. So we got rid of that. So I'm gonna put some beans there. And then beside that, I'm gonna try and get some celery in. So this is where I want to put all my Spanish onions and then all my red onions, and I'm going to plant some nasturtium between them. I love nasturtiums. They're probably one of my favorite flowers to grow. I just think they're so pretty. I love the leaves, and they are great companion plants for onions. So that just works out well for me. I just put a row of calendula here, but the reality is I have so much calendula in this garden. It's ridiculous. Oops. This garden, we planted a bit of calendula, I don't even know, 3 years ago, and it's just taken over. So even to do all of this, I'm going to be beating back my calendula. It's just insane. So I'm not planting any calendula. It is already there. Our lilies grow back on their own, so I don't have to worry about those. So then you can see here, I'm planning on putting some green onion in here because they're great companion plants for cauliflower. So I'm going to try and grow. I'm just going to do 5. We've never had success with cauliflower, so I'm not going to go crazy with that. And then down here will be the broccoli. Oops, I'm moving my whole driveway now. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to put a little bit of oregano beside broccoli. I don't want to grow a ton of herbs because I won't be able to go through them all in a year, but oregano is supposed to be great to grow beside broccoli, so I will put it there. Cilantro and chamomile grow in our garden already on their own. So again, same thing. We planted them 1 year and they've come back ever since. So none of this here is going to need to be planted. This will all come back on its own. And same thing, you're pretty much beating back all this cilantro and chamomile. Up here, I'm going to plant a ton of basil because basil is probably the one herb I want to have too much of because I can make pesto and put it on pizza and put it in sauces, and I will use my basil. So I'm planting a bunch there. I threw garlic into my garden in the fall. There was another video that I did that in. So we're going to see if it comes up in the spring or not, but it's in there. So I tried to kind of estimate where I think it is. And then in and around those garlics, I'm going to plant some potatoes. I'm not doing a ton of potatoes. That's more for just experimentation because potatoes are not that expensive, and I don't know. I just don't feel like I really need to grow them, but I also know that I will have potatoes that will likely become too soft to use before then, so I can just plant those. I want to grow a ton of peppers because I want to freeze them to use all throughout the winter, and same with my leeks because I love potato leek soup. Even if that's the only thing I use them in, I will use them. And then carrots, same idea. Honestly, don't know if I'm going to plant this many carrots. Carrots are always hard, right? Because you have to kind of thin them out properly. Echinacea grew in our garden last year here and was huge. The biggest echinacea I've ever seen. So we'll see if it comes back. It's supposed to. So we'll see. Over here, so lemon balm and mint are already here. We've planted those a few years ago. Andrew collected a few different types of mints. I think we have chocolate mint, we have spearmint, we have peppermint. I forget if there's any other ones. And then our lemon balm, so those will grow just on their own. I'm hoping to do 3 cucumber plants here. I was going to do a ton more because Finn used to love cucumber, but of course he stopped liking cucumber, but that's fine. We'll still eat it. I just don't know how well cucumber preserves or if you can even preserve it. I feel like it's one of those things you can only eat fresh. I don't even know if you can freeze cucumber. I just feel like with all the water in it, it would just be so mushy if you tried to thaw it. And it's not like cucumber gets put into dishes the way like peppers and tomatoes and things do. So I'm going to put some dill here, and then I'll have my pole beans and my peas. I'm going to do 1 zucchini plant. We don't eat a lot of zucchini in this house, but I will bake with it, and I think Andrew would eat it if I served it to him, so I'll do 1 plant and see how we do. Then I'm going to do a bunch of tomatoes here. I'm going to do some bush beans here, rosemary in front of my bush beans. I'm going to do a bunch more tomatoes along here with some parsley in front of them. My hope is to make a ton of my own sauce and just have a bunch of canned tomatoes to use for things throughout the winter. We already have this rhubarb plant. We have a ton of Jerusalem artichokes that grow here. I've never cooked with them. I don't know that I'm ever going to. A lot of times they just get left and or just trimmed and pulled down at the end of the year. We have one blueberry bush way down here, and I am going to try and do some sweet potatoes. This is not actually coming out of the garden onto my grass. The garden does actually kind of slope here. So I'm going to try and do a bunch of sweet potatoes because sweet potatoes are kind of expensive, and Andrew loves sweet potatoes. He will eat them, like he would eat them probably every day if he could. So that's it. And I honestly don't know if I'm forgetting anything, but this is what I'm going off of to start. And the really cool thing is now, if I go over here to my plant list, it will actually show me all my plants and when I have to sow them indoors, when I need to get them outdoors, and when I need to harvest them. And this little eye beside each of the plants, if you click on it, it tells you so much information about each one and like what plants would benefit it. So like what should you plant next to it if you want it to get some help, or what would it help? Anyways, I just think it's so cool. It has pictures of it, like just so much information. And that's really what I want this year, is a ton of information that I can work off of. All right, I came down to check on my onions, and you can see, let's see if I can get you a close up. It's really hard to see them, but right there, it's starting to sprout. But look at, I've also got some mold right there, and it seems to be growing in a few spots in each of my containers, and I'm thinking this is why. So look at this. I haven't watered these in a couple days, and this is still soaked. So what I'm thinking is that I have oversaturated them. Look at, there's a little guy right there. It's so hard to tell in this lighting, but he's right there. There's a little guy right there. Anyways, oh yeah, look at this guy. Oops, there. So I'm getting some sprouts, but I think what I need to do, well, first of all, remove all these moldy spots, and then I think I need to make some drainage holes in the bottoms of the cups. And then what I might start doing is actually pouring the water into this tray and just letting it soak up through those holes so that I'm not over watering. And I'm also going to scoop out all these little sections of mold and throw them out and hope that we can call that good. So I'm going to do that, and then it's going to be time to plant some leeks. Seed usually sprouts 70 to 75% in 14 to 20 days. And then you can, let's see if you can see here, trim tops every 2 weeks when they grow about 4 or 5 inches. don't think I have very many seeds left of my leeks. I'm just going to spray the tops of these. The one thing I find with potting mix is that you really need to saturate it to make sure it actually absorbs it all. So there we go. All right guys, so this is it for now. So we did our red onions, we did our Spanish onions, and now we've done our leeks. And we're seeing some growth already for the onions. Obviously the leeks are going to take a couple weeks. I'm hoping we're going to see more growth now that I've put drainage holes in the onions, but this was all I needed to do for February, was get these planted. And we got our seeds organized, we got our soil, we got some cups. So really it's just a few steps for these first couple months of the year to get you started. And it's not that much work, but it's really exciting. I hope this inspires you to get some seeds started and maybe try your own hand at your own garden this year, or just get it started again if you've done it previously. And I will post more videos and update as I go, as we get closer to spring, with more things that I plant and how I'm maintaining the plants, and certainly as we start to do our warm plants, how I bring in our seed mats, our cover, our lights, all of it. So really excited. I hope you guys are too. I'll see you in the next gardening video.